Ladies and gentlemen, look like Norwegian cruise line here has been very naughty. They have been lying to people just to get ticket sales. Now, for many of these cruise lines, ticket sales are down due to CV. So, what they have been doing is telling customers that if they pick a package in the Caribbeans, they wouldn't have to worry about CV. CV can only survive in warm temperatures. Now, why are they telling people this? They're just making the assumption that this is the case because most viruses and things like the flu, cold viruses will subside in warmer weather. So they're making the assumption, they don't know this for certain, y'all. They're making the assumption that CV will go away as the temperatures get warmer. But CV is not like the flu. We know that. We already know that. So they are really tricking people and telling them this in order to get their ticket sales up. And they said, the cruise line is desperate because now that we're in the climate of CV, everything is tanking for them. So they're telling them CV can only survive in cold temperatures. So the Caribbean is a fantastic choice for your next cruise. You would think people wouldn't be going for that. You would think they would have more sense, but apparently they don't, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe people are still looking into going on a cruise. That is mind boggling alone. But they are. You know, just like we see people still flying all over the place, and now they are at the airport waiting in lines up to 8 hours to get tested for CV. It's not worth it if you ask me. But hey, people can do whatever they want. So they're telling their customers CV cannot live in warm tropical temperatures and places that we would be sailing you to. So we know the World Health Organization has identified CV as a pandemic. It is now officially in around 115 countries. And it's still spreading, we know, in the US. And they are having a horrible time in Italy. They had 300 deaths overnight in Italy. I mean, it's just blowing my mind, the things that are going on. So, ladies and gentlemen, in all reality, they don't know what's going to happen when the warmer weather gets here. And I have to point right back to South Africa. South Africa is in the upper 70s and 80s this time of the year. They got CV. It's spreading there. So let that be your guide to we could be in May and this thing can still be here. There's no guarantee. Nobody can make those guarantees to you, especially Norwegian crews. They're not experts like that. So it's interesting that the experts made no mention of the weather. Norwegian Cruise Line did not respond when the Miami Times requested a comment from them. So they didn't even bother to respond. I mean, really, what can they say at this point? You're lying to people to get your sales up. So sales staff are required to make about 150 calls a day to sell tickets. They spend 5 hours making calls and 3 to 5 hours making bookings. So if you don't hit your quota, you will absolutely be fired. This is what this anonymous employee is saying. No exceptions for the current CV situation. You may be put on a personal improvement plan for 30 days, but that basically means you're done as an employee for a Norwegian cruise line. Now, I want to take you over to National Geographic, y'all. I want to show y'all something here. Just give me a moment here. Hold on one second. Okay, y'all, this is what I wanted to show you. Now, this came from National Geographic. National Geographic. And this is what they said as far as CV is concerned. Viruses that cause influenza or milder CV colds do tend to subside in warmer months because these types of viruses have what scientists refer to as seasonality. So, the president's comments have some scientific backing, but it's highly uncertain that SARS CV will have the same way, will behave the same way, right? So they're telling you, we know this is what happens to other viruses, but we have no guarantees to what CV will do. And they don't. So when they tell you it's going to go away in warm weather, what are you basing that on? Because we didn't have this virus before in this country. So what are you basing that statement on? Even your scientists and doctors can't tell you that for certain. So those currently studying the disease say their research is too early to predict how the virus will respond to changing weather. I hope it will show seasonality, but it's hard to know, says Stuart Weston, a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, where the virus is being actively studied. They can't tell you for certain that it's going away in warm weather. So people that are running around saying that, they don't have no scientific evidence or medical evidence that that will be the case. This thing is really not like the flu. It is quite different. So, you know, it's a shame, but this is not the first company that has lied to people to sell tickets, and it won't be the last, unfortunately. You'll have many organizations out here preying on the fears of people when it comes down to CV. Look, I read a story about 2 days ago of how they had to discard these fake facial masks, that was making the claim that they could protect you. And they had to discard them all and throw them away. And it was like thousands of them that had to be trashed. And look, you have Alex Jones that was trying to sell toothpaste, and he was telling people that his toothpaste would cure CV. It doesn't. So you're going to have a lot of the con artists bubbling up to the surface. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be like this, but it is. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story about what Norwegian cruise, and I'm sure they're not the only cruise line lying their asses off just to get tickets sold, but this is what they were putting out there. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.